What do we know about this ICC Cricket World Cup? India through to the semi-finals by our calculations. England, defending champions, are out. So are the Netherlands. So are Bangladesh. Sri Lanka and Afghanistan play a must-win game in Pune in 25 minutes from now. Afghanistan have won the toss and they have elected to have a bowl first. Whichever team wins this match stays in contention for a semi-final berth. If they lose, it's all but over. Dav Whatmore, Sri Lanka's 1996 World Cup winning coach, here with me in the studios. Dav, sort of two teams who have scrapped a lot in the last 12 months. We'll see those numbers coming up on our screens. And two teams which are both exciting and can be exasperating at the same time.
Well, that's right. I mean, a lot of Sri Lankan supporters would be very frustrated because they had to go and qualify for this tournament. They had to go to Zimbabwe and fight it out, which they did very, very well. So they're in this tournament. Afghanistan has qualified automatically. They've both won very good games in their immediate previous fixture. And the winner, of course, will be still alive, looking forward to their next fixture and the fixtures of others as well. So the loser, sadly, will go out. And this is the last of the round 6 games. So it really is a very, very good fixture. They're coming
thick and fast, aren't they?
Yeah.
Let's look at the points table. Let's bring up our points table. And that will tell us why this game is important. Okay, here you go. So Sri Lanka currently 5th. They are 4 behind Australia. But remember, they have a game in hand against the Aussies. So if they win this, they go to 6, right? And they're 2 behind Australia. If Afghanistan win, they go to 6 as well. Interesting. And then, towards the end, it could get interesting again. Right now, we sort of think that there's just 4 teams in the hunt. You think these top 4, India, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia, they go through to the semis. But a Sri Lanka or an Afghanistan win, it could get interesting, especially Sri Lanka, because we've seen a different Sri Lanka in the last 2 games, not the one which got hammered in the first 3.
Well, that's right. They've won 2 games.
Netherlands, but I think the England game is something which gives them a whole lot of confidence, and also we're just waiting for the team. As you predicted, Fazal Haq Farooqi is in. This is what Dav predicted last night, and is in. Noor Ahmed is out. We'll wait to see what's happening with the Sri Lankans. But with Angelo Matthews coming in, that sort of balance is once again looking very good for Sri Lanka.
It is on this pitch because we've had another injury just 2 days ago to Lahiru Kumara, who was man of the match in his previous fixture against England, and Dushmantha Chamira comes in, which is the boy that would have automatically came in if he was fit at the start of the tournament. So they will see that as a value add. And with Angela Matthews there, that just gives them a little bit more balance on this pitch.
Hold your horses. I've got an interesting news to share.
What, Chamira?
I've got the Sri Lankan 11. It's going to come up, but we'll get there. But this is off the telecast. Pathum Nisanka, no surprises there. Dimuth Karunaratne comes in place of Kusal Pereira.
Right.
Okay, and as I go through the rest of the team, Dushmantha Chamira comes in, like for Lahiru Kumara, who was gone back home with a thigh injury. In fact, both the Sri Lankan replacements of late, which is Chamira and Matthews, were part of the squad. Perhaps they were waiting for reasons to draft them back.
They were travelling reserves, weren't they? Only in the last week or so.
Yes.
Yeah, so the interesting one there is they've gone for a little bit of safety with Dimuth Karunaratne, who was the previous captain.
Also Test captain.
Yeah, and a good player, you know, a decent
solid player.
Yeah.
And I think that tells us that Kusal patience has run out with Kusal Pereira. Because as you said at the start of the tournament, he can sort of take a game apart, but we haven't seen evidence of it in this tournament.
No, he got 1 score, I think.
Yeah.
And maybe the captain's sick of coming in the first 2 overs or so to bat. So, you know, that was also perhaps fair enough. So here we have the openers and then the captain batting at 3. Then this boy Sadira Samaravikram, a very good player, at 4. Sri Lanka keeps his spot at 5. Dhananjay at 6. Then this one there, Angela Matthews, is the one that gives them that a little bit of balance on the Pune pitch. Yep.
Of course, we have the team. Oh, there you have it. Shamira comes in, and on paper, this looks a pretty interesting team.
On this,
let's go full frame on this. Okay, and as I read it out, as you were saying, so with Karunarthe coming in, at least Kusal Mendes gets time to prepare, and he can perhaps get back to his destructive best, because we've seen him after that game against Pakistan, where he sort of went off the scored a century. After that, the moment the captaincy's got handed to him, his runs have sort of dried up. So the 3 important players for you in this match, Pathum Nissanka, Kusal Mendes, actually 4 we want to watch out for, Samara Vikrama and Angelo. That's with Angelo batting, that's what, down to 7? That's a very strong batting lineup.
Yeah, but more than that, you know, he gives them a little option for bowling as well. And this pitch, as I wanted to say earlier, there's a lot more wickets fall into pace than it has to spin. So for that reason, you know, it's nice to have that little bit of comfort with an ex-captain, very experienced player coming in and just bowling a few overs, as he did against England, with success, I have to add. So that tilts the scales a little bit towards Sri Lanka, I would think.
Okay, let's look at the Afghanistan starting 11. That's going to come up on our screens as I speak. You know, you predicted this change.
Yeah.
And were you surprised with them bowling first? Is again the dew factor perhaps coming in?
Well, if it's heavy dew, then...
But they've got 3 spinners, haven't they? Have they? Yes, of course they have, right?
Yeah, they've got 3 spinners.
Nabi, Rashid and Mujib.
They will at least have a dry ball, let's put it that way, you know, and perhaps it's not going to be that hot. But they did say...
It's Pune, it's going to be hot.
They said, look, they did say that they've been training the last 3 nights. And it's very heavy dew. So it's a tactical decision based on dew, nothing else. Only that was the reason why they are batting second. And I don't know. We'll know later on whether it's the correct decision or not. But at least these spinners will have a dry ball. I think they're worried about that. However, you know, they have to, whatever they do, they have to do it well. You know, this team, I think, has got potential. You know, I've said that before. It's quite exciting.
In fact, you're backing them to do a Sri Lanka, perhaps in the next 4 years, if they keep this team and unearth a fast bowler. Let's look at Afghanistan's top performers. Let's start with the batters, because there's an interesting story out there. And it's Ibrahim Zadran. So they've realized some time back that Zadran, who's got 173, is striking at 75. He's actually their test opener. But they realized that he's the perfect yin and yang to Rahmanullah Gurbaz, who can go. But they've also backed him over the last 4 years, knowing that in the future he's going to be a big player for them. And similarly on the other side, one of the reasons why Angelo Matthews was not making the team was because they invested in youth after that debacle at the last World Cup. And a similar player on the other side is Pathum Nissanka. Let's talk about this Afghanistan batting lineup. Now, not spectacular considering teams have made, players have made 400 and high 350s across this tournament. But in the matches that have mattered, the game against England and the game against Pakistan, their big players have stood up.
That's right. And if they win today, they've only won 1 less than Australia.
Or New Zealand.
And New Zealand. So, you know, at the end of the day, it's okay to make your 400s, but you can make 350 and lose. You can make 400 and lose. You just got to win the game. So they have a group of guys there who I think has got real potential. And if they win today, they've won 3. The stat again, or the comment I'll make again, is that whilst chasing, they have to reproduce a strong effort.
But what did we learn about Afghanistan from that run chase against the Pakistan team?
Well, they had to really put their heads down and...
Hang on, just let's get up let's get up Afghanistan's record at this tournament so far. As Dav talks over it, we can sort of then get a sort of context. So they didn't start out too well. They lost 2, didn't they? They
Lost to
two on the
Bangladesh.
bounce.
Bangladesh
And
first.
India and Delhi, then they beat England. One of the reasons why England started going into that downward spiral. Hammered by New Zealand, but then the big one. What did they learn from this game? Because A, they haven't played since then. So that momentum is still there. They're rested, they're fresh, and they've always wanted to beat Pakistan. There's more of an edge there, Dav, than an India-Pakistan game.
There's also an edge against Sri Lanka too, given the closeness of that run chase by, you know,
in Lahore?
This in the Asia Cup.
In Lahore. That's the Lahore game.
Oh, okay.
At the
right.
Gaddafi.
Of course, yeah, okay.
Where Rashid was stranded at the other end, and the batter at the end just blocked.
That's right. India's the only one who doesn't play there. That's right. I forgot. What they've learnt against Pakistan, I think, is that you can't win the game in just 25 overs if you're chasing, and they're chasing today. You've got to do it carefully. You've got to do it properly, and you've got to be totally focused to getting 1 run more than the opposition. So, you know, it's going to come down to the ability to keep your focus and not lose wickets. For sure, if you're losing wickets, you will not win the game.
And we saw that with England last night.
That's right. That's right. The only way they're going to lose it is getting bowled out, and that's what happened. So, you know, I think they've done pretty well so far, Afghanistan, and they're learning, and this will be another big feather in their cap should they win this evening.
Shahidi already said this is already our best ever World Cup because they've never won 2 and they have 2 big scalps against the big test playing nations, former world champions. Let's bring up Afghanistan's bowlers, and then I want to talk about Rashid Khan because I've found some interesting numbers which I want to sort of throw to Dav. Now, the problem here when I look at this lineup is why aren't they taking wickets? Okay, Naveen has got 6, Rashid has got 6. Now Rashid has a great sort of economy rate. But then you expect your senior bowlers to take more wickets. Again, I must say that in the match that mattered, the England game and the Pakistan game, they took wickets. Okay, let's bring up Rashid Khan's numbers. We've got special graphics. I want to compare this. Now, notice, we have a specific graphic on Rashid Khan. Let's bring that up. Rashid's special numbers. There you go. So, I want you to look at this. He's got 99 games, his 100th game. Well done, Rashid Khan. 178 wickets, right? Great economy rate, an average of 20. Let's bring up Rashid Khan's next numbers, which are his World Cup numbers. And this is what? His 2nd World Cup?
It's different.
Very different.
There you go.
Economy rate 5.42, average of 53, just 12 wickets. Why is he not being able to translate his form in T20 and usually in ODIs into wickets here? Is it also because he's not bowling in the power play? Or is he afraid to get hit? What's going on with Rashid?
Is he bowling the power play and the bilaterals? We don't know.
Yeah.
You can't give me that answer. But look, one thing is for sure.
I don't think he bowls there as well.
No, he doesn't. One thing is for sure. He is coming on to bowl to the top players. Their fast bowlers also are not doing the business. If they are able to pick up 2 and 3 wickets, then you're exposing, you know, not the upper order. You're exposing that middle order to a good bowler like Rashid Khan. Mujib, who unfortunately has the responsibility to bowl in the power play. He's one of the 3. So, you know, a lot of his good work is taken up with a new ball. And that's why I say this team is very good potentially, but they need to unearth a little bit better pace. So now that all-rounder comes in, good potential, but he's getting knocked around as well. He's not the quickest, but he can improve with his variations and be a little bit more, you know, frugal in the way in which he can protect runs or give away runs.
But sorry, our team's playing Rashid as a slowish medium pacer.
Maybe, yeah. Well, you generally
because he's very fast.
You generally set up to play slow in swinger, basically. So the bat is in front of the pad all the time. You're not going to be hit on the pads and then, you know, ask the question. The umpire might give you out. So yeah, you would set him up to play as a gentle in-swing bowler because it's quick and it comes in a little bit more so than the leg break.
Yeah, actually, while researching this, I actually went and started looking at some footage, and I saw him bowl with the late Shane Warne at the MCG, and they were bowling side by side. And by the time Rashid's ball is already there at the wicket. The late Shane Warne's ball wasn't even halfway there. He's that fast.
It's quick, yeah.
He's that quicker.
Yeah.
And that means he's not getting the loop which Shane Warne did, or you sort of fox the batsman in the drift. It's in there. It's direct. And then he's probably getting his wickets probably as a leg before or bowled.
It's totally different because when he releases the ball, he's behind his head.
Yeah.
Whereas Warne is there.
Here.
Yeah, so naturally, Warney will definitely, the late Shane Warne, naturally is going to get more turn and drift and turn. This fella is very good, more accurate because he's coming way over here. And
it's a lot more shoulder.
Yeah, well,
and he's got 3 or 4 googlies in any case. It's the variations for
he's
him.
totally different, So he's not going to be bowling a big spinning leg break like Warney. He's going to be straightish, quickish.
A bit like Anil Kumble, perhaps.
Kumble,
maybe turned the ball a bit more than Kumble.
Kumble's got
but
more
the same pace.
Bounce. More bounce because he's taller and he loads this way and he gets that overspin a lot more. So there you are, another great spinner, 600 test wickets, all 3 different.
Okay, all 3 leg spinners as well, along with someone you coached, 800, Mr. Muthaiya Muralitharan. Okay, we've looked at Rashid. Let's look at Pathum Nissanka, because a lot of people are starting to get very impressed with Pathum Nissanka. We have his numbers at this World Cup. 4 consecutive 50s.
That's right.
4 consecutive 50s, and again, someone with a lot of talent they have backed. And again, you get a feeling, Dav, that this Sri Lankan team is taking a bit of time for that transition to take place, but the core of that next great Sri Lankan team is here. Maybe this World Cup is too early for them. That's why they've gone back to Angelo Matthews because of the injuries as well. Let's be fair to them.
Yeah.
But the fact that they're still in the reckoning after losing 3 straight is a testament to their fighting ability.
Well, this boy's done, as you said, 4 in a row. So if you step back and have a look at that whole team, yes, they got the bones of it. They need another partner for him. They went for Pereira, who is now dropped. They've gone back to the tried and tested Karunaratne, and they also, have a good attack. So, yes.
And Chamira would have been their first choice had he not been injured.
That's right. But this boy here, Pathum, I couldn't understand. He was getting a bit of critical comments made from Sri Lanka, which is not right. He is growing, he is developing, and he's had 4 starts now. What we need him to do is to see if he can keep going and silence those bloody critics in a big way and try and get, 100 if he can, because he's certainly got the ability to do it technically rather. He's just got to get his head right a bit more and be tougher.
Okay. Let's bring up Sri Lanka's playing 11 if we can, because it's time to get to know more with Whatmore. There's some questions on the Sri Lankan playing 11. This question is from Twesha. I hope I'm getting that right. Twesha. Okay, do text us on and tell us if I got this right. With Chamira and Matthews returning to the side, do the Lankans look a more formidable team now?
Well, certainly, yeah. That gives them, a little bit of firepower at the front. With a new ball, it gives them the stability and a bit more depth with Angelo Matthews, both with ball in hand, but a little bit more with the batting. And it's what you can't measure in the dressing room when a guy like Angelo Matthews comes in. Can't see it. You can feel it, but you can't measure it. The calmness that he brings.
But also
because
the senior boys, they don't look up to him.
It's exactly
he's the captain who's not designated the captain.
That's right.
Okay, sorry to cut you off. Karan asks, who are the bowlers to look out for in this clash? Let's start with the Lankans because we've got them. Let's talk about Chamira. What impressed you about Chamira? Because we've got some numbers of Chamira which will come on as soon as Dav starts answering.
Well, it's a bouncy sort of bowler who comes in and he's got pace. He's got speed. So 44 matches and 50 wickets is okay. He can do a bit better than that. But he's also youngish, but he's developed himself into a position where he's the first choice.
And he and Madhushanka,
right, I was coming
as a pair, that'd be interesting.
Well, Madhushanka's got a couple of hauls of good returns. That's why he's up, I think, 11 wickets.
Yeah,
from
yeah,
the
2
tournament.
4-wicket hauls.
Yeah, so he's also another youngster who had a little injury, but he's back now and looking really strong. And he's also got some pace, and he swings it. So, you know, his challenge is to get it starting in the right area, and he could be a little dangerous too. They could make up a nice little formidable attack for Sri Lanka. So, yes, I think, you know, he's one of these guys that certainly might figure in the wickets column after 50 overs.
Okay, now we've got another one. Daksh has a comment. I think Sri Lanka, if they bring their A game, can still make the semis.
They can, of course, but they're relying on other teams.
But are they actually? Are they actually? Because Australia have lost what? 2. So have New Zealand, and perhaps you see some upsets happening even now?
Well, look,
I don't know if you call New Zealand, Australia an upset.
I can't be sure, but you know, this is what I feel. You know, the top 4 I think are going to be there.
But hang on, have New Zealand played South Africa yet? I don't think so. No, they haven't.
No.
That's a big game coming up.
Okay,
Somebody's going to drop points there.
It'll be a very good last few games anyway, right?
Have New Zealand played Pakistan yet? Not sure. I'll just look it up. There's potential there. There's potential there but what you got to do, Dav, is you got to stay in the race.
You got to win.
And you got to see how the other results come in your favour.
Yeah. So they have 4 games left, and they got to win, what, 3 of them? We're saying 6?
Yeah.
They got to win all 4.
Yeah.
So
you could sneak in at 5? No. One of Australia and New Zealand really have to have a shocker.
It's one
or
the other.
Australia going up, so it's only New Zealand, you never know.
That's what I was getting at.
Yeah.
So look, you know, but you got to keep winning, and today's the start for them. And I think, given the conditions in Pune, I think I'm slightly leaning towards them, Diggy, because they have a little bit more of the bowling, the pace bowling that will suit that wicket, because a lot more wickets fall in Pune for pace than it does spin. However, if there's a lot of dew and Afghanistan are really tough early on and resist losing wickets at the start, that could be a really good run chase too.
Okay, let's bring up the Afghanistan team and let's take some of your comments and questions on Afghanistan as well. Here we go. This one is from Tarun. He's asking, can Afghanistan cause another World Cup upset? Would you call this an upset?
No.
Afghanistan qualified for the World Cup on their own merit. Sri Lanka did. So in fact, if Sri Lanka win, we could call this an upset. I just going to pain you as a World Cup winning coach from Sri Lanka. But
the top 4 batsmen, very good technically.
Yep.
Right. And number 5 is a youngster coming in, the keeper.
That's Omar Zai, who can tonk it, and so can Ali Khil.
Yes, that's right. So, you know, they're a little inexperienced.
Oh, and you forget, this guy can really hit it hard.
Oh, that's what I mean. So after 4 and 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
So the Gurbaz, Zadran,
Nabi's
Rahmat,
coming at 7, right?
Shahidi, Omar Zai, Ali Khil, Nabi, and then Rashid.
Yeah. So
that's a formidable 8.
It is. And so you've got a couple of these youngsters, you know, nestled in there before Mohammed Nabi.
But they also can promote him up and down, like that run chase.
It's flexible.
In Lahore. Yeah. He was the one who fired it up, right? He got 65 of 30 balls.
The guy had to, didn't they? Had to win it by 37 point whatever overs it was.
They almost got there.
Yeah, that's right. So, you know, it is flexible. But what I'm getting at is there's a lot of good, technically correct players there. And if they can match it with the software, the hardware and the software comes together, you got something really special. Similarly with some of the guys in Sri Lanka too. So again, this all points to a very, very good fixture, important one for both teams.
And 2 teams who, I think if you look at the head-to-head record, and we have that graphics ready, if we can bring up Sri Lanka and Afghanistan head-to-head, they've played a lot in the last 12 months. They've played, what, 6 or 7 games?
6 or 7, yeah.
6, 7 games.
Yeah,
and
they know each other very well.
They know each other very well. Okay, at the World Cup, Sri Lanka have won both. Let's leave that aside. But the last 12 months, 7 games, it's 4 and 2.
Yeah. Sri Lanka won 4 and
Afghanistan have won 2.
1, 2, okay.
It's pretty close. And that one game could have gone here and there. Yeah. Overall, 7 and 3.
Yeah, so the history tells you Sri Lanka, but this team's catching up.
Catching up, yeah.
It is.
Okay, there's a question from Aman. let's get the points table back again. I think Afghanistan can still imitate what Kenya did in 2003. You were there that World Cup. Your team played the semis, so did Kenya.
Yeah, they really surprised everyone, Kenya. They won a couple of games where nobody gave them a chance. But I think Afghanistan's had more exposure. They've had more. They've been more visible to a lot of people. So I don't think it's quite the same, but they would see it as a big, big feather in the cap. Everybody would if they make the semis, which I think is a little bit beyond them. But it's nice to keep dreaming, though. I tell you.
But there's something else happening in this tournament which we've just realized. Let's go back on this points table. Let's go full frame, because the ICC yesterday has confirmed that the top 7 in this World Cup will qualify for the next Champions Trophy, which is making a comeback. When's the last time they played the Champions Trophy?
Oh, in England, wasn't it?
When India won it, 2013. No, 2017, when Pakistan won it.
Pakistan, yeah.
Yeah, so Pakistan defending champions.
Blazers, yeah.
And I think it's being hosted in Pakistan.
So it's only 7.
So 7 teams. So if you go full frame on this, as things stand, England may not make it. England may not make it.
So there's only 7 teams playing?
7 plus the hosts, Pakistan.
So where are they playing?
In Pakistan, as things stand.
India won't play.
Well, we don't know. Hybrid model, Dubai, India play games in Dubai, you never know. You never know, but as things stand...
Only 7.
It's an 8-team tournament, 7 qualify, Pakistan come in as hosts. So it's an 8-team tournament. So if you put that cut-off here, then the Netherlands, as things stand, go through. As things stand, Netherlands go through. England and Bangladesh won't be playing that tournament. And I think that's what all these teams now need to target. So as we said yesterday night, England have sort of hit rock bottom.
It's sort of coming under the radar a bit, this Champions Trophy, right?
I think nobody expected it. But to be fair, Shakib was asked this question a couple of days ago, and he said, listen,
he knew.
He knew. Yeah. So people sort of had forgotten this. It was one of those side
Me too, I've
swept
forgotten.
under the carpet somewhere at some ICC press release. Yeah. Let's get back to that. Let's get back to that points table. It's important. Yeah. So as things stand, India, South Africa, New Zealand, Australia through, you sort of agree. Pakistan obviously through as hosts, so 5 teams through. You've got Sri Lanka, Afghanistan, Netherlands, Bangladesh, England, all in the race for what? How many spots? 3 spots.
Anyway, Pakistan by the end of this World Cup could anyway be in the top 7, right?
Yeah.
So
no, but they're hosts. I mean, they are guaranteed to start.
Yeah.
So that's 4 up here and Pakistan. So that's 5 teams. So the remainder, which is Lanka, Afghanistan, Netherlands, Bangladesh and England, are fighting for 3 spots.
That's another reason to win, right?
To start winning,
Yeah.
yes. So if Sri Lanka win this, they're going to make a significant step. Or if Afghanistan win this, a significant step for them. But as things stand, if you look at 8, I think the cutoff, including Pakistan, is here at Netherlands.
Yeah.
So it's really for Bangladesh and England to start pulling up their socks. That'll be a huge story if England don't make it.
It will, yeah, and really...
You're just so fed up with England, you don't want to talk about them anymore. Come on,
well, what else can you say? It's just, they're just horrible in this tournament. They're just unable, if they want to play this, their style of play and continue with it in conditions that doesn't suit, then, you're doomed. You're destined for more of this sort of stuff.
Interesting. But how to sort of... Okay, we've done enough of England. We'll talk about England later today on WION World of Cricket at 6:30 on our television show as well. But just looking at this Champions Trophy thing which has come up, interesting. This format, you think it's interesting to use this World Cup's numbers to pick that team?
Who picks the top 7 plus host? Who decides that? The
ICC has decided it 2 years ago.
Which is the delegates of all the countries?
Yes.
Oh, well, yeah. I mean, they could
have.
Let's have
that, yeah. Let's have that back. Let's go full frame on that. Because I find it rather bizarre. Shouldn't you have a cutoff nearer to the Champions Trophy? Perhaps say, like you have for this World Cup, you had that table. Yeah. And I think in April, South Africa had to beat the Netherlands. They did that and they got that automatic 8th berth. That sent teams through to a qualifying tournament. Shouldn't that have been a better sort of an arrangement?
It gives teams, an opportunity to repair.
To catch up.
Yeah.
And one bad tournament shouldn't rule you out.
Yeah, which is the case with England.
Yeah. But it is surprising that all these teams, all these countries voted on that and it got through. What does that tell you?
the delegates, the countries.
Well, they didn't expect, right? England never thought they're going to be down in 10th. Can they do anything now?
Well, they can protest, put in a request.
But they've signed it off, right? They've signed off on it. No, but on a
Anything
larger
can
note,
happen.
on a larger note, Dav, when you're making a framework for a tournament which is going to come 2 years in advance, suppose the tournament is happening, it won't be happening in the summer months, obviously. It's too hot in Pakistan to play. It's going to happen sometime, whenever the dates are, I'll figure that out. You think there should have been a cutoff and then you give teams chance to qualify? Is that the way out? Or World Cup is too far ahead, right?
It is too far. But
2 years.
The governance of ICC is those countries. So if you want to change, they can change.
Ah.
You see, it's these countries that hold the power. So
I thought India held the power and the rest made up the numbers.
Well, they do. But, you know, if they want to change,
but if
they
England
can
don't
change.
play, but just going back to the ICC revenues, I think India up top, obviously, and they get a lion's share of that. But I think England and Australia are up there as well in terms of the revenue market.
Well, India do generate the bulk of the funds, so it's sort of understandable. But yeah, England, Australia, they also help out, and it's a global game, right? It's not just...
And no West Indies. So if West Indies didn't make it, how do they come back? And if that's the problem, isn't it, with cricket at the moment? That, you know, it's looking too much like a cozy club. The West Indies, let's not rule them out to bounce back.
Cricket needs them.
Yeah.
The world needs West Indies.
So would you say if say Pakistan had a bad tournament, or Bangladesh, imagine the numbers in Bangladesh. Why do you think the International Olympic Committee wants cricket at the Olympics? They're not big fans of cricket. They're not going to have any say in how things are run. But you know what? They need the fans out in India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka and Bangladesh. It translates to good revenue. So are you telling me that Bangladesh won't be there with their sort of crazy support? You've coached that team?
They follow. They get numbers everywhere too.
Yeah.
Amazing how many Bangladeshis live around the world, like Indians and Pakistanis.
So you get a feeling there's going to be pressure, especially if England don't make it. There's going to be some pressure. Rework this.
Would you be surprised?
I won't be surprised.
I wouldn't.
Surprises me in cricket. I'm just surprised at a decision taken way in advance that a tournament that is held, it's not even next year, which is the T20. It's the next year. It's 2025.
It is too early. Yes.
It's too early.
Yeah, they can change it.
Yeah.
Don't worry, it'll happen.
They can change it. Okay, before we go, the game's underway. A lot of you watching this on Facebook, so we're going to just keep this slightly going. Let's look at key battles. Do we have Dav Whatmore's key battles? If we have that, let's take them.
Gurbaz.
Okay.
Madhushanka.
Okay. What's happening right now? It's Fazal bowling. Okay. Gurbaz and Madhushanka, that's going to come up later.
Yeah.
So, you still want to go with Madhushanka considering Chamira's in?
Yeah, absolutely. I think this boy is going to take the new ball. It swings, and he's had, the whole tournament. He's into the swing of things. Dushmanta Chamira is his first game too. We're all pinning hopes on him too, just like I said about Travis Head, and he actually did the business. Chamira has to come in, and first game he has to do to try and do well. That's not going to be easy on him either. But yeah, I think Madhushanka with his swinging deliveries, it could be a handful for Gurbaz, but he's got to resist it. He's chasing, his figures are still, his statistics need to improve chasing, and he'll have another opportunity tonight to do that. Okay,
let's hope he's learned a bit. He's learned a bit from that Pakistan run chase, and that's given them the confidence. Let's look at key battle number 2. Good technique. And key battle number 2 coming up.
Ramat Shah.
We've got Ramat Shah against Tikshana, the mystery spinner.
Yeah,
in fact, we should have had this Tikshana versus Mujib. Something's happened.
Oh, yeah.
Someone's got hurt. The wicketkeeper, is he?
Yeah.
He's okay.
He'll be okay.
I think his ball's hit him in the wrist or something.
Could be.
Okay. Get there, but shouldn't this have been Tikshana versus Mujib?
We'll probably see it next over with, he's the number 3 batter. So Ramat Shah, very impressed with his technique.
What happened there?
Yeah, have a look there.
Erratic ball. Nowhere near the bat.
Finger. It's dislocated, little finger.
Oh, that hurts.
You need to put it back in probably. Pull
that
it out
hurts,
and put it back in.
That hurts.
Yeah, you'll be okay. Ramat Shah, very good technically correct, and he was wonderful in that run chase against Pakistan. Remained not out, I think, and really, when it got to the point where there's a lot of pressure, he eased it with a couple of big shots at Chinnaswamy. So he's up against a very good, right arm spinner in Dikshana, who's answered the call manfully every game for Sri Lanka.
Next one. Next battle. He looks okay. He's continuing, is he? Going off?
Nisanka.
No, he's going off.
He's going off. Okay, well, you got another keeper there anyway, so.
Okay.
Good buzz.
We just hope that he gets back, because he's an exciting boy.
You'll be okay, I'm sure.
Ali Khil, exciting boy. Okay. Pathum Nisanka, we spoke about him, and Mujibur Rahman. That battle is going to get underway soon.
Yeah, this fellow, 450s.
Yeah, spoke about him.
We might see that next over.
This fellow, 4 googlies, 4 different balls.
Yeah. Interesting to watch. So he's got to take a little bit of time. He can make merry later. Pathum, very good young player.
Okay, let's move to the next one.
Now, Mendes is not there.
Mendes is
sorry.
Pereira
not there. That's right. Pereira not there.
I don't think you had Pereira in there. You knew he's struggling.
Yeah.
A brave call to put him in your key battles.
No,
okay, but Kusal Mendes, I think, needs runs. I think Kusal Mendes, once he's been given the captaincy, we've not seen that same Kusal Mendes.
Yeah, well,
he is their best player.
How many games has he failed? Twice?
Yep.
Yeah, he's a good player, and he played some good shots before he got out. He's just got to be a little mindful of playing straight for a bit longer, and he could have a really good time here as well. So, Faruqi's now returned to the team because of the conditions at Pune, and he's also another left-armer who swings the ball, and I've seen some of his bowling, very, very good, and I see some of his bowling very, very bad. So he's got to get it right and to cause some trouble for this captain of Sri Lanka.
Okay, let's look at the final one. And what do you have here?
Samaravira. Samara Vikrama, rather.
Samara Vikrama.
Yeah.
Tilan Samaravira.
Yeah, very good player, this boy. I think he's been, along with...
so was the other one. Samaravira too was pretty good.
He was. Middle order player. Along with Ravindra, this guy is emerging, certainly for the Sri Lankan team. He's a very good player. And he's been looking to maintain a very good effort, of recent times. And he'll have
when we spoke about Rashid and how Rashid needs some numbers to back up.
Yeah.
He can't be the way I look at it is, you may be the best player in the world, but you got to score in the World Cup. I think that's what, when we look at Ronaldo, the Messi, the Lewandowskis of the world, when we look at greatness, we also look at what you've done in the premier tournament of your sport.
Yes, and also...
He needs to brush up those numbers.
It's going to be difficult today, though. I mean, there's more wickets fall to spin. I think 4 times more to pace. Than spin. Yeah. So,
he's pace bowler.
Yeah, but he can, as long as he keeps it really tight, somebody else may figure in the wickets column.
100th ODI for him.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good luck to him today.
Okay, come on, Rashid. Okay, those are the key battles. Quickly, going to take you through some poll results. Will Sri Lanka reach the semi-finals? 24% of you say yes. 76% say no. I just saw a graphics. The games coming up for them are India, Bangladesh, and New Zealand for Sri Lanka.
Tough, right?
Tough games.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
But hope is eternal. Will Afghanistan reach the semis? 68% saying no, 32% saying yes. Who's going to be Sri Lanka's best player today? I'll take that to you. Samara Vikrama, Nisanka, Angelo, Madhushanka.
One of the batters for sure. I think I'm going to go with the informed batsman.
Samara Vikrama?
No,
Pathum Nisanka, okay.
Because if he gets going, he's batting right up the top. Samaravira bats at number 4. If they get a run, they won't have much overs left.
Okay, the good news for Sri Lanka is that Dimut Karuratne is there. So Kusal Mendes isn't in yet. I'm being nasty. It's okay. I'm hungry now. Samara Vikrama, 54%, 17% Nisanka, 13 Angelo, 17 Madhushanka. Okay, question number 4. Who's going to be Afghanistan's best player? Gurbaz, Rashid, Mujib, Nabi.
Gurbaz. No, I'm Gurbaz for sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
39% gone with Gurbaz, 47% going with Rashid Khan. Perhaps they haven't seen our statistical breakdown where we sort of showed why his numbers aren't very good at a World Cup. And the final one, give me a second, I just need to find it on my screen. Who's going to win this game? Come on, who's going to win this game?
I'm going for Sri Lanka.
You're going to Sri Lanka, okay. But that's just 1/3 of our fans, of viewers. 68% going with Afghanistan. But that's a story.
Not surprising.
That's a story, isn't it? Afghanistan, what's happening back home, the way they sort of bring belief to a nation. Yeah.
It wouldn't surprise me though. You know, as I said, I think it'll be a close game. I hope it's a really good close match. But I'm leaning to Sri Lanka because of those reasons, because of the pace
and good bowlers.
4 pace compared to 3, and a little bit of experience.
Okay, that's Dav Whatmore's prediction. Let's see how this game unfolds. We'll be back with the mid-innings review when this Lankan innings gets over. That will be on YouTube and on our Facebook platform as well, on WION World of Cricket, which is our television show. That's at 6:30 p.m. India. Dav and I will be looking ahead to Pakistan's game against Bangladesh, and we'll also look at what's going wrong for England. We're also going to be looking at a bit more stories from other sport. Max Verstappen winning the record 16th Grand Prix. Manchester United suffering another defeat in a Manchester derby, that and much, much more. This is Digvijay Singh signing off along with Dav Whatmore. We're off to have lunch. Hopefully you've had your lunch. We are a bit hungry. See you. Bye.